Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, April 28th. Today we have, yesterday I guess, we had Amazon earnings, which initially was really good. They had a double beat on earnings, beat on revenue. The stock went up about 10%, and then their CFO started talking during the earnings call, talking about how their AWS or Amazon Web Services is projected to see a slowdown for the second quarter, and then maybe a pickup in the later half of the year. So obviously markets did not like that, so they gave up all the gains and then some, with Amazon now down about 3% from yesterday's close at 109.82, currently trading at 107.23. Intel also reported earnings, which was the worst earnings that they've had in the company's history. But this stock is up by like 8%, so you're probably going to see some love for NVIDIA, with Intel going up in sympathy with it. Even though, again, this was the worst earnings in the company's history, somehow the chip stocks are still doing pretty well. I guess Intel was kind of, sold off pretty heavily, but I can't imagine that's great news for the worst earnings in history of the company. But going up anyway. Markets are irrational as always. And if we're looking at QQQ, this one's trading pretty flat, currently at $320, down from $320.35 at close yesterday. And SPY, I think, is down by 0.25%, currently trading at $411.50 versus a close at $412.40 yesterday. So pretty, wild market, a lot of moves in both directions, making us flat for the overall market, pretty much. Good morning, being human. May not trade today. After yesterday, I don't blame you. Good morning, your fawn. Last couple days have been crazy. Absolutely. All right. So I personally picked up some Amazon puts right before the bell yesterday. We'll see how those are faring right now. Amazon's down 1.4%, and my puts are down by $62, or about 10%. I set my expiration date for May 19th, I think. So I still have time to wait this out, but definitely feeling the IV crush even with the later expiration date that I chose. Amazon's currently trading for 108. We got a little bit of a pop on the opening bell, but not able to hold those highs just yet. We'll keep on watching. We'll probably find a balance, I'm guessing, between where the volume is to the downside at 106 and maybe 109. And then if we break above 109 and see 110.50, I think this could end up staging a rally here. But let's see, QQQ currently trading at 320.64. I also opened a iron condor that expires today at 45 cents each. Right now that trade is up by about 50%. I opened them for $45 a piece. They're going for $23 now. And it's right in the middle between my range, which is where you want the stock to be with iron condor. And then obviously as close to expiration at 4 p.m. as possible. But yeah, they're going for 23. I think that closing them at 20 might be a good deal. We'll see. I have a pretty wide range I set for it, between 318 at the bottom, which is where we ended up trading above for the days that we were outside of the range for QQQ. So I think that we're going to stay above that 318.74 mark. But I think that getting to new monthly highs at 322 is out of the cards for us. So I think today's going to be a pretty neutral day. The start to it seems a little bit positive based on Amazon getting a touch of a rally. But we'll watch how it plays out. Core PCE came in this morning at, 4.6% year over year versus 4.5% expected, down from 4.7%. So a marginal slowdown in core PCE, which is the Fed's favorite measure of inflation. And then the monthly reading month over month came in at 0.3 versus 0.3 expected. and 0.3 last month. So no change for the core PCE. Regular PCE came in at 4.2%, including energy and food, down from 5.1%. And then the month over month was 0.1% versus 0.3% expected, down from 0.3% last month. So PCE in regards to including food and energy is slowing down, but still not to where the Fed needs it at 2%. All right, Amazon's coming back down to 107.50 at the moment. So again, I think this is probably going to stay within range between 106 and 109. Hopefully we get a break of the 106 level, but hard to really say there. I do like my profits for the QQQ Iron Condor. So if we do see Amazon starting to pull back below that 106 level, I'll probably get out of my QQQ Iron Condor because that's probably going to be the leader for the tech market today. And considering that we're trading, at the top of our range that we've been in for the past month, I would say that poses a little bit more downside potential for today. All right, I am positive just slightly on the 112 Amazon put, with Amazon trading at 106.60 right now. So I think order of operations this morning, if Amazon comes below 106, close out of the Iron Condor, hold on to the Amazon put, see where we head next. Next support level that I've got is down at 99.50. I don't know if we'll get there today, but with this market, it seems like anything is possible. So, all right, we're down to 106.20, so I feel like that's close enough for me to take profits on the QQQ. They're going for 29 at the ask price, so kind of expensive, but they just flipped the ask to 828. Let me see if I can get that instead. We're right below 106 for Amazon right now, 105.95. And I did not get filled at 28, even though that's the ask price. Gotta love Robinhood. And they're super, super slow fills. Great job. Thank you. Buying short-term options too risky. I think that in this market, since we're just trading back and forth, going long-term isn't really worth it. Just trading in these ranges, if we keep trading in that range, it's going to kill the theta for your option. So I wouldn't want to trade long-term options, but that's just my personal preference. Unless you're trading like individual stocks, I think that would be viable strategy. But trading the indices, if we just keep trading that tiny little range that we've been in all month, it's going to burn your time value for your options. So not my personal preference to go long on expirations. All right, I did not get filled at 28. I'm going to retry 29. If I don't get filled at 29, I don't know what's wrong with these options. There we go. I was able to get out at 29. Beautiful. Now we're holding on to the Amazon puts. And we'll see how this shakes out. Closing options alerts, premium. Just took profits on the QQQ Iron Condor expiring today, which is the 28th. Happy Friday, everybody. At 29 each. And I chose the 318, 319. Actually, let me double check the strike prices. 317, 318 for the bottom strike prices. To 323, 324. Sweet. So I'm out of that trade, holding on to the Amazon. Hopefully we can get a little bit more profit out of this. Right now it's trading at 105.85, so breaking the bottom end of our little volume range at 106. So hopefully we keep on heading lower, but there is probably going to be some support, some buyers down here between 104 and 106. All right, my Amazon put currently up about 20%, which equals $88. I spent $635 on it, and right now it's up by 88. That's not 20%, that's 13%, but math. Let's see. UVIXI is getting crushed today, with VIX currently trading at 1668, which is the lowest that we've seen it in the last 2 trading days, and coming back down to the low 16s where we saw it about a week ago at 1617. So with this sideways trading action, this is going to continue to reduce the VIX further and further. I ended up buying some UVIXI calls yesterday. Those are down by about $100 as of right now. So this was my hedge against the markets trading flat with iron condor. So net, I would still be positive about $70 between the iron condor that I opened. Let's see. At 45, closed at 29. 45 minus 29. 16 times 8, 128 profit. Kind of wish I had opened more of them, but that's okay. Yeah, markets are just kind of chilling out so far this morning, even with Amazon headed lower at 105.38 right now. Also agree on the VIX calls. Yeah, it's trading very low right now. Very cheap. But this sideways trading action is not helpful at all with VIX. Meta is being sketch. Do I think QQQ is going down? I think there's a good chance that it goes down, given that Amazon is falling right now at 105.29, down 4% for the day. But I'm not sure, how much is really going to give up if all of the other big tech names are still, getting bought up. With Google's only down 0.6% after it was up like 4% yesterday. Apple is down 0.09%, so hardly at all. After it rallied like 2% yesterday, or maybe even 3%. I think it was 2.5%. I don't remember. But Meta is still trading near 240. Visa is just kind of flat, and then Microsoft is trading at 305. So this is a new high. So I'm guessing with all of the other big names, kind of holding up at the highs, you're just going to get some flat trading action for QQQ unless those names start to drop down. But Amazon's trading at 105, just below 105 now. So those puts are gaining a good amount of value at the moment. And I'm glad that I went with a longer expiration date for this, so I'm not pressured to exit today. I can just follow the trend if it keeps on headed down. And the trend is definitely down for Amazon today. Looking at 27 RSI, not a beautiful day at all. But you are coming up on that 103.96 support level, so could be a potential bounce right there. Yeah, that Amazon put is up by 200 almost, 173 at the moment, or about 27%. Credit spread 322, 323. Yeah, I think that would be good. I don't think you'll get much credit for it, but I would say that's a solid trade idea. Your risk reward is going to be terrible, I'm sure, but very safe trade, I would say, as long as Amazon continues to head down and doesn't stage a recovery. making any moves for Apple ahead of their earnings report. I haven't made any yet. I made some last week ahead of Microsoft reporting earnings. I opened them on Friday of last week and then closed them right before Microsoft earnings, I think on Tuesday. Already made a profit of like $120 or something on that, and not really planning to trade it yet. It's trading at 168 though, so it is towards its yearly highs. I think that Apple sales likely to slow down. The revenue is likely to come in worse than it was a year ago. But I'm sure that Wall Street has already anticipated that. If we go over to earningswhisperers.com and check what their estimates are for Apple next week, they're expecting $92.94 billion in revenue. And if we go to their earnings history, let's see if I can find the right website to go to. Not finding it right now. I guess I should type in the ticker symbol Apple earnings history. All right. A year ago, they were doing $93.99 billion in revenue, and they're expected to only do $92.93. I would expect a, better pullback in revenue than just, like $0.3 billion to $300 million. I would expect a good, couple $1 billion off of their revenue. Granted, a lot of the revenue can come from services, which has been, holding up. So maybe they can make up for it there. But I know that, iPhone sales, Mac sales, things like that are definitely in the gutter right now. So I would expect a decent pullback for the revenue compared to last year. Earnings, I think that they have a lot of earnings power considering how much cash the company has. They can do a bunch of buybacks and employee stock compensation, which artificially inflates their earnings per share. So you can't really trust that, but they're expected to do 144 earnings per share, whereas a year ago they were doing 152. I think they could probably end up beating their 152 just because of how much cash the company has. So I would expect a beat on revenue, maybe a miss on earnings, small miss on earnings, which I think, as long as they don't give any really bad guidance, might actually end up in their stock being above 170 by the end of next week. There's very thin trading volume up there, so if people are seeing Apple above 170, they're just going to start to buy in. Just like you saw for, Meta currently trading around 240, for Microsoft trading at 305 now. All these big tech names besides Amazon and Google, I guess, are just up a shit ton after good earnings. Market's awaiting the Chicago PMI that just came out 2 minutes ago. Let me see. Chicago, not really a major impact, I wouldn't think, but we can check the economic calendar anyway. Go to the United States data. I wish that it would remember my settings on Chrome, but it doesn't. And Chicago PMI came in at 48.6 versus 43.5 expected, so pretty sizable beat to the upside, which is good for the city of Chicago. and previous was 43.8. So pretty solid improvement. Still a negative reading though, considering that it's below 50. So I don't imagine that the markets are going to have too big of a reaction to that. Let's see. We are positive on the print, right above that 412.30 level. And Amazon's coming back up after it got very, very close to that 104 level at 104.30. Yeah, Amazon's getting a decent recovery out of this right now at 105.60. So we're very close to the 104 level, but couldn't quite get there. Google is pulling back pretty substantially below the pre-market lows, which might lead to further sell-off. Bearish in terms of RSI at 30. Apple still above 50, so that's positive, bullish. Meta is still hanging up there at 238, so not really too worried about that. Microsoft looks like it just wants to keep on headed higher. So again, I think we're just going to have a pretty flat day for QQQ. A lot of back and forth between all the big tech names. No real consensus for the big tech names, at least. So probably going to trade flat. Any idea on Intel? Intel's at 32. Let's see. Nvidia's down by 0.13, but Intel is up like 7% after their earnings print, which was, again, the worst earnings that the company has had in its history. But it's up by 7%. It's already sold off a ton since the beginning of the year. It really didn't get any sort of love since the beginning of the year, like a lot of the other big tech names and chip stocks. So it's reasonable to see somewhat of a rally, but this is kind of trading close to the highs from previous at 34. So I would think that it would probably stay below that. Like 33, 34, somewhere around there, it might end up pulling back. And it started at 26 at the start of the year, so it's up by $6 for a $26 stock, or about 23%. Whereas a lot of the other big tech names, they're up by 25, 30, some of them even 50%. All right. Yeah, so Amazon's just trading in the volume balance between 104 almost at the bottom and then 106 at the top so far. Hopefully we get another breakdown, but wouldn't count on it just yet until we flush below 104. Yeah, there's a lot of buying volume right below us at 104. So, going to be pretty hard to crack that. But if we do, I think we could get some momentum going here. Let's see what the regionals are doing. Regional Bank ETF KRE is up 1.8% today. FRC is still down 1.3%. Let's check the other big regional banks. WAL, WAL, or Western Alliance is up by 0.9%, 0.95 actually. So seeing a bit of a rally for that name. And KRE in general is doing pretty hot. And we're probably just going to burn some time on Amazon right now, I'm guessing. So we'll have to look at it later. Let me set some alerts on it, just in case we slip or rise. Create an alert at or below this price level at 103.96. And at or above, probably 106.50. I want to get notified then. 106.50 at or above. There we go. Right now we're just trading in that range. So let's pay attention to something else. Google trading at 107.30. Still bearish on the RSI at 40 right now, but getting some recovery at 106.95. Meta, it's actually fallen a little bit, not much compared to how much it rose by 15% after earnings. Apple just wants to keep on headed higher here. 160, 850. And Microsoft just ripping everybody's face off at 307 right now. Crazy rally for Apple and Microsoft. They just do not give up. Yeah, the VIX is definitely bleeding for sure. Do we have the Michigan Economic Report really today? Yeah, we do have the Michigan Economic Report at 10 a.m. Maybe we can get some volatility around that with the inflation expectations like last time. That one was definitely a big mover. So maybe we can get some volatility in the next few minutes. Will be nice to see some volatility in either direction, but yeah, I'm still thinking flat for the day. Just based on the mixed results with all the tech names. You're seeing half red, half green, with Amazon down the most at 3.5%. Which really isn't that big of a move considering, an earnings report. When you're seeing like 15% green from something like Meta, it's really not much. Snapchat, on the other hand, that one down 20% this morning after their earnings. Let's see, came in at positive 1 cent versus negative 23 cents expected. So better than expected, slightly positive, but still sold off by 20%. seems like anything that isn't a mega cap is too risky for anybody to own. So I think that's probably why Snapchat ended up falling by 20% even after a good earnings, based on the headlines at least. Kind of thinking we're going to end the day at 412.30 for SPY, but not too sure on it because we're seeing some firming in the banks, with the Dow Jones is up by 0.1%. Even IWM is up by 0.4%. So you're seeing some good price action from financials. Like XLF is up by 0.1%. Let's see what energy is doing. XLE, 0.5%. So anything that's not tech right now is actually seeing a bit of a rise. So very mixed market. And I think we're going to end the day at 412.30, but with this next Michigan economic report, don't want to trade ahead of that volatility. Yeah, Iron Butterfly, I think would be pretty good. Yes, I do. I made a video on that. All right. Here we go with the Michigan economic report in 4 seconds. Let's see. I'm surprised that the servers on these economic calendars can handle all this action. Let's filter. Clear, United States. Still don't know why it doesn't remember my preferences, but that's okay. Michigan economic report. Consumer expectations positive 6. No, wait, that is not reported yet. Oh, and I'm going to have to refresh and do all that all over again. That's unfortunate. Let's see, SPY is down a little bit initially on the report. Not seeing the headlines yet. Let me do the filters again. Clear, United States, apply. All right, there we go. Current conditions, 68.2 versus 66 expected, so better than expected there. Consumer sentiment, 63.5 versus 63.5 expected, no change from last month either. Consumer expectations dropped to 60.5 versus 61.8, so recessionary vibes there. Inflation expectations, 2.9% last month and 4.6% for 1 year inflation expectations, but they don't have the numbers yet. So we wait. So far, QQQ is getting a little bit more of a pullback on that report than what we're seeing for SPY at the moment. QQQ down 0.2%, whereas SPY is break even at the moment. All right, going back to Amazon, trading at 105.25. So this one's really not changing much either. Trading flat with the rest of the market, still in our range of 104 to 106.50. No break yet. I really want to get those inflation expectations, but we'll see if they've posted. Inflation expectations for the 5-year is 3% versus 2.9% last month. And 1 year inflation expectations, again, 4.6% versus 4.6% last month. So not really good. No improvement in terms of inflation expectations. That means that inflation is still entrenched into the minds of the consumer, which can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. If people think that prices are going to keep going up, they're going to buy goods now, trying to get them for cheaper, which adds to demand, which perpetuates inflation up. So we should see the dollar going up with that news slightly. I would imagine that yields would go up. Yep, slightly. Gold is pulling back. I would like to get gold in at 183 GLD at least. And QQQ just kind of trading flat with this news. Again, I didn't expect a ton of volatility out of it. It's not a huge report for the week, but there's a little bit of downside momentum going on at the moment. Economic report been killing me. Better than that report better not be bearish. Oh man. Is that a bear flag on Amazon? Let's see. Amazon's trading at 105. Definitely downward momentum. You're looking at 34 RSI, so it's definitely weak. But there's a lot of volume just below us at 104, so I'm not expecting a break just yet. Right now, my put option is up by 140. Kind of thinking about taking profits. If I hold it over the weekend, the theta on these is 0.05. So I'll lose like $10 of value over the weekend. Nah, that's not so bad. And if we do get a continued down move for, say, QQQ, that would lead Amazon to go down. But, yeah, we're trading at the top of the range, so I figure next week would be bearish for QQQ, but you also have Apple earnings, which could, sway QQQ in one direction or the other. I think Apple earnings isn't till Thursday, though, if I remember right. Let's see. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after hours, I'm thinking. With the date of 5/4. Amazon ended up going back up at 105. So new support, it seems like, at 105 and just kind of trading flat in that range. Ugh. Very annoying and frustrating stock for sure. The bid on these is 740. The ask is 750. I guess I can sell it for 740. I originally picked them up for, let's see, 635. I don't know if I want to follow price action, and the relative strength being so low still tells me that this is bearish, but there's just so much support below 104 that's going to profit, I think. I might be able to get out closer to 104. It's trading at 105.40 right now. But it's lots of people wishing to buy right now for where it's at, which can't really blame them considering that pretty much every other tech stock, mega cap tech stock, is doing well. Apple is almost 170, 169 right now, and Microsoft just continuing to rip at 307. No break for the bears on Microsoft and Apple for sure. Very, very flat day for QQQ so far for the first 30 minutes of trading. breaking even right now. So I probably could have held those iron condors a little bit longer for more profits. All right, I'm going to get out of these Amazon puts. $7.40 a piece. If QQQ keeps going up, I'm thinking that might lead Amazon to see a little bit of a recovery, but $105 a profit there, I think. Closing options alert. Just took profits on the 112 Amazon put at $7.40. Yeah, and that was $105 a profit. Still trading in that range. And still slightly bearish. But I can imagine if QQQ is rallying to 322 by the end of the day, Amazon might start to chase that to the upside. Got stopped out of your SPY puts. Yeah. This rally, this last 5 minutes has been pretty big. Let's see. 320 to 320.70 for QQQ at the moment. We ended up closing yesterday about 35 cents lower at roughly 320.35. So there's a lot of people that might want to start selling at 321 or so. So we'll see if we can manage above that or not. But your market leader today, Microsoft up 0.85%. And Apple up 0.4%. Those two are leading the QQQ into this rally at the moment. All right. Yeah, my UVXY call is definitely getting slaughtered at the moment. The theta on these is very low, though. Only 0.01 theta, so they'll only lose about $10. Thinking about keeping them open, but the next big event for the markets isn't going to be until Wednesday, so not expecting a ton of volatility until then, unless we do get a sell-off going into FOMC. But I think we already know what's going to happen for the most part. We already know that we're going to get 25 basis points. I don't think there's going to be any shocker for the markets. So I think that they're pretty comfortable going into the FOMC, which is leading the VIX down to 1650, which is almost the lowest close that we've had for this month, and that would be the lowest close since I think November of 2021 again. Any Fed speakers today? Not that I know of. Let's see. Nope, I don't see any Fed speakers scheduled for today. Usually a week before the FOMC meeting, they usually don't have any speeches ahead of that. Amazon's pulling back to 105.25, so could have held that put a little bit longer. Watch, it's going to go below 104 now after I close. RIP. But yeah, Microsoft, Amazon do not give a shit about Amazon. Or Microsoft and Apple do not give a shit about Amazon earnings right now. Crazy, crazy market. Well, luckily, my cover calls for UVIX here losing basically all their value at this point, half of their value from when I sold it. So I might be able to take profits on those. I sold them at 25. They're going for 13. I'm only making up like $12. So not really worth that. Fed speakers pop out of nowhere and spook the markets. Yeah, they can, but like I said, usually a week before FOMC, they just don't speak at all. So I think we did have Fed Kashkari speaking out of the blue, though, right before the last Fed meeting, just because of the Silicon Valley Bank issues. Amazon's pulling back up, though, 106, trading to the top of the trade balance. So yeah, I think we might be headed higher for QQQ here. Maybe we could see 322 and higher by the end of the day, especially with the way Apple and Microsoft are moving. I don't think I'll doubt it. Those are going for 47 cents. We could wait on a little bit of a pullback, hopefully. Maybe get them a little bit cheaper. Let's see. I would want to get it maybe around 320.8, or about 40 cents lower than where we're trading right now. No, Amazon wasn't able to hold 106. Lots of back and forth for Amazon. Oh, man. Okay. Actually, don't know if I can trade today because I have a option that was assigned on me. And they're working on that assignment and exercising the option that I bought. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Curious if I have any cash in this account to trade up. Let me see. Of course, I don't have my login on my phone. Well, let me try to place an order. I don't think I'll be able to, but we can try. Yeah, definitely looking bullish though. We're at 71 on the RSI. So bullish momentum. MACD is certainly bullish. Both lines headed up higher and higher. Yeah. Not enough buying power because they are not letting me trade. Okay. Well, I guess that's all the trades I got today. Since they won't let me trade no more after getting an assignment. So let me log all the trades that I made. Maybe we can do a little bit of Q&A for the end of the week. It is Friday. Let me log that loss on Meta was pretty rough. Those are expiring in the money and max loss, unfortunately. At 5, so that was a 558 loss. And then I had, let's see, the QQQ Iron Condor that I'd opened yesterday, 427. Closed it today. QQQ, both Iron Condor, which is a neutral strategy, expiring today. Strike prices I chose were 317 and 324 that I bought, 318 and 323 that I had sold. I had opened 8 of them. Let's see. QQQ. Let me get the history on what I opened and closed at. $362.32, so 360 over 8, 45. Credit, debit close, 232 over 8 for 29 debit for 128 profit. And the Amazon trade I made yesterday, 427, closed today, 428. Amazon put, long put, bear strategy, obviously. Expiry was 519, so I had a long way to wait, but didn't want to test those ranges at 104. Still testing the range between 104 and 106.50, so I could have held, but didn't want to test my luck with QQQ going up. Strike price was 112. One of them that I had bought for, let's see, Amazon trade history, 635, closed for 740 for 105 in profit. So I think that means that we had a green week. Still lost 325 today, but beginning of the week was good. I had to have closed something yesterday. Let me see. Oh, I opened an Iron Butterfly that didn't work out yesterday. 427, QQQ, both Iron Butterfly, neutral strategy. Expiry was yesterday, 427, day trade. The strike I assumed that it would be at was 316 with 314 and 318 wings. Just opened 2 of them. $287 for 2, so 144-ish credit. Rode that to max, actually close to max loss. They saved me a few pennies. for 106 loss. And then I had a couple other trades that I closed yesterday. Let's see them. Amazon just went above 101, so I'm glad that I got out of those puts now. And again, QQQ, I'm thinking it's headed above 322 with that recovering. $427, QQQ, call at a long call, bullish strategy, same expiry, 427, 319 strike price that I got 3 of them for 0.7 and then sold for 0.8, so that was like 30 profit that I snagged out of that. And then I had taken advantage of the Amazon rally yesterday ahead of their earnings too. 427, Amazon call, long call, which is a bullish strategy. Expiry was 428. Pick those up for 500 and close them for 560. Need to move those. Strike price was 108. One of them. All right. I think I had one more trade that I closed yesterday. No, that might be it. Yep. All right. So for the week, let me take the sum of it. A10 through E10. Total profit this week of 150. Pretty good week. Meta didn't treat me so well, so that ended up bringing down my profits, but I'll take it. Slightly positive for the month, and we got, well, I guess this is the end of the month, $42 of profit this month. Not a huge win, but slight win. Q&A update my P&L year to date. Let's see. I think still up year to date. Yearly data, $369 since the start of the year. It's been kind of back and forth the last couple of months. Down 300 for March, up 42 for April, whereas February was a big month just because of the volatility. Usually whenever volatility is higher, I tend to make more profits. So if volatility does end up spiking again, that'll help me out. Trying to kind of hedge volatility so I can take advantage of, low volatility and high volatility. And the way that I've been doing that is, adding in a mixture of iron condors, iron butterflies, as well as either going long or short VIX, depending on if I've chosen a direction. Like for me, I ended up opening the iron condor for QQQ that I closed this morning. And then I hedged that with UVIXY calls just in case we did have a little bit of volatility. And let's see. And then I had the Amazon trade, which was that one was positive volatility. And then I hedged that with the negative volatility with the QQQ iron condor. So just kind of trading around volatility has kind of helped me to break even if I'm just long volatility all the time, and volatility in the VIX is at 16. Not going to make any profits on that, so. Yeah, for sure. This market is not very forgiving at all. With the VIX as low as it is at 1630, your risk reward ratio is skewed really, really terribly. But we're just still kind of just trading range bound. I think we might break the top of the range today. Seems possible. For QQQ at 321. SPY's at 415, so that's not quite at the top of the range, which is 416. So still have a little bit to rally for SPY to get to new monthly highs, but QQQ seems more certain on reaching new monthly highs today. But yeah, that's all the trading I got for y'all today, and I will catch y'all on Monday at 9:30. See you, everybody.